We're actually on. Okay,
What?
take two. Let's do it a bit better. Right, I'm going to introduce you properly. Alex Northey, 12th place Stuttgart Regionals with Maridon, former UK national champion. You were 15?
16, I think.
You were 16. Oh, okay,
It was my first year of Masters.
yeah, 15
Must have been then.
or
Yeah.
14. 14. Yeah, it's like 15, isn't it? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's 15 plus, isn't it? Yeah.
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 And you're back. You're back in the driver's seat, and you got on stream. This is your second regional, third regional.
Second regional of this season. I did go to the Malmo one for the previous season, just for a bit of fun,
Yes.
really. But
Oh,
yeah.
yes. Yeah. Did you play? You played Maridon there.
Yep, I've exclusively played Maridon since it came out in Scarlet and Violet.
So that's technically a lie, right? Because I remember your first cup where you played Dondozo.
Yes, technically yes.
And
Okay.
and you played Charizard at a challenge or a cup.
Okay. Yes. Fine. Yes. Okay. But Maridon has been my MVP. I will say that.
Yeah, you are certainly a
Yes.
Maridon player, but you have almost exclusively played Maridon throughout your entire return Pokemon career since
Yes.
Maridon came out.
Yes. Yes.
You have
Pretty
been
much.
the Maridon Flaffy guy.
Yes.
Okay, so just is it because Flaffy has Dynamo?
Yes. The only reason I played it was because of my history with Dynamator, and that is why I picked it.
Yeah. So
I
you
did not like the Reggie V Max version. I hated it.
Yep.
I know what Dynamator can do.
Yep.
And so that's why I did it. That's why I picked it.
Because Dynamo won you UK Nationals with E-Electric.
And Terrakion.
And well, yeah.
Yeah, it was a big part of the deck.
Yeah, well, it attacked, but
yeah.
Let's not get too excited about the Terrakion.
So just going into this game then.
Yes.
The bit of backstory is that I had played Simon in day one. He was my 8th round opponent, which is the only loss of the day.
Yep.
He 2-0'd me, rather brutal. And we did discuss our list afterwards. So he was aware that I wasn't running the Lost Vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that shows in his plays, because there are several plays throughout this series where he is seemingly quite greedy with his plays, where he overbenches probably when you wouldn't do in a blind match, in a blind mirror. But I think because he knows I don't have the Lost Vacuum, I have no way of getting rid of the path, and so I'm very unlikely to actually fill my bench.
Yeah.
As you'll see in some of his plays, but yeah.
Yeah, and just quickly as well, because we were talking while it happened, but prizes, 5 of the 6 of your prizes are the same. He has, you've got Bravery Charm prize, and he has, bloody hell, I actually can't remember. He has something other than Bravery Charm prize, and you both got 2 boss.
It was 2 research, 1 boss, 2 energy, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, yeah.
So having the Bravery Charm prize is really big in the mirror, because obviously it allows you to soak up a hit.
Yeah.
And if you can't find the Lost Vacuum, that's effectively a wasted turn. You know.
Yeah.
When the opponent could then retaliate and get their 2 prize and swing the trade in their favor.
Yeah. So right off the bat, now you've started Lone Raikou. Simon's got second Raikou, Mareep in play, Maridon in play, and then we see the generator here. Happy to see 2.
I'm thinking, please don't hit 2. He only hits 2.
Well, he hits 3 actually.
It hits 3. Thankfully,
he's got the shiny play Pokemon expensive energy as well.
Yes.
Do you still have a load of those?
I've still got the old Hurlon Phantoms energies. The Call of Legends shiny energy, I think I've got as well.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of old shiny energies, but
yeah, because those shiny energies, they came in like plastic seal packs, and you got 1 or 2 of each. I must have had about 8 or 9 of those packs, and I think I threw them all in the bin.
That's unfortunate.
I know. I mean, that's
really nice energies.
That's basically like a mortgage on my house, isn't it?
In this day and age, yeah.
Yeah. Well, what can you do?
So yeah, this is sort of the play I'm talking about, where he benches the 4th bench. So in a blind mirror, this is a bad idea, because it now sets up my Raikou with a full bench to knock out his Raikou, and then start the 2 prize trade in my favor.
Yeah.
And then he Seal Stones, and I immediately know what this is going to be. as he does get the path.
Yeah.
Because pathing the Maraudon player turn 1 is brutal. It stops you from filling your bench, which lowers your odds of hitting a generator. It stops you from using Squawk. It stops you from using Fleetfoot. It stops you from using Muex. It basically shuts off your entire draw and search power of the deck.
Yeah. Which it makes it all the more amazing that you play the card.
Yes.
And as well,
it's because after turn 1, really, path doesn't affect you because you've filled up your bench. So that's why it works so well. But when you get path turn 1, you haven't had the chance to set up. It really punishes you.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got the Miraidon is hitting the bench. Unfortunately, it's crippled by path.
Mm-hmm.
So what? Okay, this is your first deck search, and you've got the retro switch going on. What are you looking for here in your deck search?
So I'm looking how many Flaffies and Mareeps do I have, because having a 2/2 Flaffy is really good for this matchup. Like, you want to be able to string your 2 prize attackers back to back. I want to know if my pivot's in the deck, because it's very helpful to avoid having to waste energy. Is Raichu in the deck? Because oftentimes you might need to use it to blow up a Bravery Charmed Raikou or Miraidon. As well as looking for, because I've got Arven in hand, I need to know if Sealstone's in the deck before I make the play.
So Sealstone really is your only grace at this point.
Oh god, yes. If this was if Sealstone was prized, this probably would have ended a lot quicker.
So if in theory then, if the Sealstone and the Bravery Charm was switched, you're basically screwed.
I would have to hope that the generator I get off this goes 2, so I can power up Miraidon, get a 2 prizer, and then hope I get something off the prizes in the top deck. Because I have no other draw support in my hand, and his path means I can't find Squawk. Yes. I can't use Squawk, so which would be lovely. I mean, if I did get path, this hand would have been amazing.
Yes, of course.
I would have got Miraidon. I would get Sealstone Generator, have a full bench, power up. Probably would have been able to get the knockout this turn.
Well, spoiler alert, but you actually could have gotten a knockout this turn.
Yes. Despite all odds, and a very thick deck still, this generator is kind to me.
It's the magic generator.
It is the magic generator.
Because you're playing 13 lightning.
13 lightning and one double
DC,
turbo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, DT, not DC, of course.
Yes. No, old school.
Ooh. Well, it's technically a different card because it doesn't have the same stipulation of -20.
True, I still call it DC from time to time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, real OGs still say Warp Point.
Yes, I've done that before.
Right, so we've hit the double generator, and you've manual attached the lightning to the Raikou. So this was I've got to say I was shocked to see the energy go to the Raikou. I'm greedy with Miraidon. I definitely would have been just taking that knockout.
Yeah, so it was a thought, because I would just Sealstone for the cart and then attach energy to Miraidon and smack. But the issue with that is he's pretty much guaranteed to get the return KO with the Miraidon.
Oh, well, he's got 2 energy already in play.
And he's got 2 energy, so yeah. And then that would leave me dead in the water with a 0 energy board, a Raikou, and a Zero Aura, which, get a pivot, but that's rubbish.
Yeah.
And I have no follow-up. If I'd known I was going to draw 2 research off these prizes, then, I would have done a completely different play. But obviously, I don't know what my prizes are.
Well,
so this
is the thing, is like, you actually have had your deck search.
Yes.
And
so,
you looked for research as well. Did you not? You could have counted them, bro.
I could, but I wouldn't know I was going to draw off the 2 prizes.
Yeah, of course.
That's the thing.
Of course.
Because research is not something I routinely check for.
No. Is it something you're going to start checking for?
No, probably not.
I love it.
It's a very situation. It's very situational. So I bench the hands here. Well, I retreat to the Zero Aura to avoid giving up a 2 prizer, and I bench the Iron Hand specifically so that he doesn't just get an escape rope and then a 2 prizer for free. He would need to find Zapdos in order to get the necessary damage, which under path and a 2 card hand looked harder. then he plays a research, and that suddenly becomes very easy. But it's a player had to go for in a very bad situation. So.
But I suppose at least when you see research, you know that you're not getting the bossed. So it's like, okay, the guaranteed gust on the Maridon is now gone.
Yes, yeah. So thankfully, yes. The issue now is escape rope.
Yes.
Would put me in a bad situation. I mean, if he had escape rope, the play would be to escape rope to Maridon, then bench the Zapdos. Because I would always set up the hands in that situation anyway.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the hands is pretty useless in this matchup, really, because most of the time you just want to be knocking out the 2 prizes with the energy rather than trying to boss up a Flaffy.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of energy investment for the Iron Hands.
He is greedy for sure.
He's certainly greedy.
He is greedy hands. Joe, I've been thinking about this as well. Like, if you look at the top 8 decks from Stuttgart, you look at the top 8 decks from Gdansk, and then you look at the top 8 decks from LAIC, and then you can also compare like the most popular decks. Isn't it? I don't know about you. It seems like it's almost like every new major, it's like someone's hitting a reset button, and like the most popular decks, they seem to like shift, and the most successful decks seem to shift. Like, not a lot of Charizard at Stuttgart.
No, it was. I think because Charizard did so well in what was it, Gdansk,
Yeah.
that I think people expected it and teched for it.
Mm.
And then just learn how to play against it better, and then it's just not done as well, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you say same for Blocklax?
Yes, I think that's what triggered the rise of Tina. Tina's got a good matchup versus Zard, and it's got a good matchup versus Blocklax. So it seems the best choice going into Stuttgart, really, and it showed in its conversion to day 2 and its
I mean, it was the most popular deck
top
as
4
well, wasn't
placement. Going into, I think it was either the first or second deck going into day 2. I think
Can probably
for
try and
conversion
look
at least.
Yeah.
Um,
All right, so you've got the double Raikou. You've used the Super Rod because you were going to boss it. You were going to research, and
yeah,
Zeraora is back.
yeah. He didn't want to leave, so he came straight back, which was nice. Having a pivot is super handy. Unfortunately, no Mareep, which makes it very difficult to get a good follow-up attack next turn if this generator isn't kind, which it's okay, I guess. But the problem is, without having a Miraidon, this Raikou isn't going to knock out anything unless I have a boss.
I mean, you're almost like at this point. I'm almost feeling like I'm so far behind. If this isn't 2 energy, this is going to be just difficult.
Yeah. So I still have plays here. Like I get 2 prizes now.
Yeah.
And then next turn, if I can get a Bravery Charm, tank a hit with a Raikou, or boss and knock out his Raikou on the bench, I would still be ahead. Because at this time, because of the 7 prize chair I effectively put him at now because of knocking out the Zeraora, he is behind. So there was always a chance that I can steal the win by just finding the right cards, and him bricking essentially. Like he's underpath. He's not got. He's got a Raikou in him. If this Miraidon goes down and I've got a Bravery Charm Miraidon in play, he's in a lot of trouble. Because it's effectively I can then just take 2 more another knockout. So
yeah, and we've just seen the Zapdos going down. He's got Beach Court, but he's not playing it.
No, I think that's smart. He wants to deny me putting any Reaps in play.
Yeah.
And also stopping me from like fleet footing and things to get out of a Iono of 4. So yeah, and the Beach Court doesn't help him here anyway. He wants to attack this Miraidon this turn.
Yeah, of course.
And then this Iono gives me an awful hand.
Well, he's got a pretty good hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
he does.
It's okay. There's no real live cards. You got the Bravery Charm and you've got a Vacuum. I mean,
the Bravery Charm is a big deal in this situation because it means I cannot knock it out now.
Yeah.
Even if I did somehow get a Miracle Miraidon 3 energy in play.
Yeah. I mean, you'd need what, like Raichu.
Raichu 5 energy.
Yeah, like 3 generator hits. Yeah, like three different generators hitting at least 2.
Yeah, it would be a nuts play, and then I'd still get knocked out by Raikou, so it would the game would be over. Yeah, I mean, looking at this hand, maybe I could consider scooping a bit at this time because I'm in an atrocious situation here, and he's now got another Miraidon powered up,
Yeah.
ready to respond. But there's always a possibility of like, I think I draw the boss here. Oh no, that's the following turn, I think. But if I can boss stall a Fluffy for a turn, maybe hands it, take 2 prizes, then boss up the Raikou on the bench for another 2 prizes, and win the game that way. It's still out.
Yeah,
It's very difficult out, but
and like in the world of 7 prizes right now, you're not actually technically behind.
no, he still needs to take 2 more knockouts, same as me, really.
Yes.
So thankfully that knocking out the 0 early on has stopped me from falling too far behind.
Yep.
Um,
I've just taken the liberty to look at PokeStacks Live for, popularity of decks and conversion. Now, Charizard EX was the most popular day 1 deck. At 16.75%. Number 2 is Miraidon, then it's Gardevoir, then it's Giratina V-Star at 9%. Now this is where it's interesting. Okay, let me look down here. We've got Iron Valiant, Entei, Bats Caliber is 3.92% of the field. 3.21% is Fusion Mew. If you look at day 2, the most successful deck joint is Gardevoir and Giratina, and then number 3 is Miraidon, and then 4th is Charizard. Now this is where it gets quite funny. Look at conversion. As you say, Giratina was the best for conversion. Nearly 20% of players got through. Then it's Lost Box, Sableye, Charizard, or I think you can just call that Sablezard. But this is the funny one. Shenpao Bats Caliber had a 0% conversion rate.
Yes, well, it is a terrible deck.
Okay, you've heard it here first. It is a terrible deck. That's it.
It is a terrible, bricky, inconsistent deck that loses to itself more than anything. I mean, you'd think in a meta that the most popular deck day 1 was Charizard, which Shenpao would feast on, and it couldn't convert. That should tell you everything you need to know about Shenpao.
Yeah.
If it can't even beat the most popular deck going into day 1, I don't know what to tell you. It's just not a good deck. Don't play it.
And then on the flip side here, Roaring Moon, 4.63% of the field. Conversion rate, 5%.
Woo! Still not convinced by that.
No, you are not convinced by the moon. I was, I was really sad. Like, obviously, I was sad to see you lose out of top 8, but I was also really sad to see the Roaring Moon not quite make top 8 as well.
No, yeah, it kind of snuck up out of nowhere, really. It just suddenly appeared in top 8, in the top tables towards the second half of day 2. It just nobody saw it coming, really. And then my friend, who was the Mew player, Ethan, who ended up finishing 5th, was terrified of finding the moon.
Yeah.
So that was fun to watch, really.
Yeah. And
I also did not want to face that card because, like I said, I don't run the vacuum.
No.
If he runs the capsule, I'm in trouble.
Yes. So. Yeah. The Roaring Moon is definitely So that particular version of Roaring Moon was playing Town Store, and I think like probably 2 or 3 capsules.
I'm glad I avoided that then.
Yeah, it's an interesting build. I'm definitely going to be looking at it. But just to get back to the game here, boss stalling up the Flaffy.
Yeah, this is my only play. If it got stuck for a turn, if I then top deck research, double Flaffy, hands, charm, or Iono into double Flaffy, hands, charm, knock out the Flaffy, don't get knocked out next turn, follow up with Raikou, boss game. There was avenues. It wasn't over immediately.
Yeah.
And then the piece of research is over immediately, but it is what it is. Because he has a fair few outs. I think he doesn't run. I've not seen the list yet, but I don't think he runs the 4 switch cards. I think he might be running like 3.
I can see a rope there and DTE.
So maybe I'm wrong there. Yeah, then the DTE is just for a treat. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, that game went about as expected. The modern player goes first, paths, and then the modern player going second cries without the vacuum. So yeah. So you always want to choose first in the Miraidon Mirror because the significance of turn 1 path is just too big. It as you saw there, it completely shuts down the deck if they can't find an out fast enough.
Yeah. So I'm assuming here you choose first, if I remember correctly.
Absolutely, yep.
Yeah. Because when I've played you in the Miraidon Mirror, did you choose second?
Maybe
I feel
that
like
was
you
a
might
that was
have.
probably a mistake.
Well, it worked out. I think you trashed me 2-0. So, but yeah,
I
because
think with how these decks have now developed, I think going first is just so much more important now. You may not get the best start, but the value of finding that turn one path is just too big to pass up.
yeah, sure, yeah, and it's interesting here because actually Simon, because he plays Beach Court, he must only have like 2 path.
Yeah, so his last runs, it's 2 path, 1 court, and then 1 vacuum. So he actually has 2 outs to path. So he could feasibly find an out to the path, which was a concern for me, but I still want to choose first, knowing that, because like I had a chance of him not hitting it, you know.
Yeah. So these prizes are pretty favourable for you, actually. I mean, you're losing a 1-1 Flaffy line, which isn't great.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
But Iron Hands isn't that useful in this matchup.
No.
But this time you've got turn 1 Miraidon.
I do. I think, yep, I can actually use Miraidon this game, which is lovely.
Were you a little bit unhappy to not see a path in your starting hand?
Yes, because it meant I was going to burn the seal stone for it.
Oh, you do. Okay.
Yes, because like it's just so important.
Yeah.
So here, because I know he has path outs, I don't bench 4 because
Yes.
he could always knock out the Raikou
Yeah.
with a bench of 4 and his full bench. So I stick with the 3. Obviously, Mareep for energy acceleration, Raikou for early game aggression. But the focus really here is to get them Miraidon powered up, because that is what will knock out opposing Miraidons, whereas Raikou will struggle. So if you can, it's always best to power up the Miraidon in these matchups.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we both know what's coming here.
So this is interesting. This is interesting because you've actually got escape rope in hand.
Yes.
Was there ever a thought of going escape rope, draw one of the Raikou, and then path?
It was a consideration, but if he did get the path bump, Miraidons, double generators, and then knocks out the Raikou, I'm in trouble. Like,
So you're just
so
happy to leave Zapdos to take the hit?
yeah, Zapdos is not that relevant in this matchup.
No.
I mean, it is relevant to knock out the hands, but I've got Super Rod in the deck, so I could always try and find it.
Yeah, and we've got Bravery Charm on the Miraidon, so he's nice and tanky as well.
Yes. It also means that if he wants to vacuum, he won't vacuum the charm. Yeah, he has to vacuum the path.
He has to choose either path or charm, and he's got to choose the path. Yeah. Is that double boss? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to play research, so it makes sense. But when I saw that, I thought to myself, ooh, I have options of just hiding behind something, potentially. It's very unlikely. Like, I could tank a hit with Miraidon and then retreat, and it's unlikely it's going to get bossed at this stage. I think he does run the 3 boss, so yeah.
Have you ever played or thought about playing Powpad?
Not really, because I find with Miraidon, the sort of the one-offs in this deck are often very hard to find because you don't really have any good draw. Your draw engine is essentially just research after research.
Yeah.
So finding these one-offs is very hard to find. And also late game, oftentimes you just want to find a boss or an Iono. And you play enough of the cards, like you play 3 of each. I play 3 of each, 3 boss, 3 Iono, to where I don't need to Iono them back in.
Yeah.
Powpad them back in. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just because I've played around a little with Powpad and it's been in and out of my Miraidon. Just dumping the double boss turn 1. It's like it would be nice to be able to throw them back in, you know.
It sucks, but it doesn't happen every game, and you sometimes just have to adapt and just play with what that is, really. So thankfully, he only finds hands here and not the Miraidon. If this was the Miraidon, this could be a different game. Because I know that the hands is not really a threat to anything but the single prizes. I know in this situation, unless he hits another generator here, this Zapdos is probably okay, because even if you find the DTE, he doesn't do enough damage. He'd only do 100 to knock out the.
Well, if you got Zapdos into play, it's actually fine.
Yeah. Well, Zapdos, if he gets Zapdos, it'd only be 110.
Oh, Zapdos got 120.
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
I don't think I had 110. Oh, right.
Yeah, so he just arm presses, which I'm like, fine. It just doesn't really bother me that much. I mean, yes, it means I'm going to struggle to knock this hands out now because
because Zapdos
I've
is in the
just lost
bin.
my 10 damage. Yeah, beast. But it is what it is, really. Like I said, I've got Super Rod. I could always find it later.
Almost best bet here is to like rope, maybe like, yeah, okay.
No, so I don't
Try
rope
and knock
here.
out the Mew.
I don't rope here because
No.
I have no. I would
Well, he would just play
potentially
Mareep,
lose
wouldn't he?
my.
So
Yeah. Which I find the reset the rope again.
yeah.
Fortunately.
We're gonna see a Flaffy.
There's also an argument to not roping just because his only threat at this point is this hand, and if I can just, even if I don't knock it out, just punch it and threaten it, that's probably enough to do to get me far, really, to knock it out as fast as possible because it's his only damaging threat.
Just what I don't know. I'm just sort of filling time and chatting really about Miraidon. Now there was a period where you played the Magnezone V-Star.
Mm-hmm.
Is that ever been anything more recently that you've been sort of putting your radar back on to put back into the deck?
So actually, I had a friend who still plays the Magnezone V-Star in their Miraidon list. They don't play the hands. I'm not convinced by it because the role it played was to knock out like double comfy in the Lost Box matchup in order to give you 2 prizes and even the prize trade. But nowadays you've got hand which does the same thing and isn't a stage 1, and it doesn't require you to use your V-Star power. And the Seal Stone in this deck is really important at times. So it's, for me, it's also a lot of deck space as well. I cannot justify putting it anymore.
Yeah, gotcha. What about, because this is a perfect time to talk about Tapu Koko. Because you play in this deck, we don't actually see it. I only found out, even though I watched the game when it happened, I only found out just now from watching you deck search that you have Tapu Koko EX in your deck.
Yes.
So talk to us about why you play Tapu Koko EX.
So the Koko was a reaction to how well Charizard did at Gdansk. I had a chat with Phil, a long chat with Phil about this, and we originally wanted to go with the Luxray V, because of it being able to Fang Snipe early on against Charizard to get rid of the key pieces like your rare candies, your Arvins, and things to disrupt them. But in testing wise, you just play Rotom. Every deck plays Rotom now, and they just draw out of it, and it just makes the Fang Snipe useless. And then it's 120 paralysis attack, requires 3 energy, and then you lose 2 of them, and it was just too clunky to get out because it was just, oftentimes you have to generate to it, which felt really bad when you're not even getting the knockout. So that's when I started looking at the Koko, and the Koko was so much more consistent. It's so easy to find. You just tandem unit, Flaffy attach, and Koko is now live.
And you've got paralysis.
And it came in clutch so many times against the Urshi Inteleon matchup and the Charizard matchup, because it essentially gives you an extra turn, because those decks don't run very many switch outs. Maybe they run like 1 Escape Rope, 1 Churros, maybe.
Yeah, well they have Tower of Water, don't they?
Well, if they're paralyzed, they can't retreat.
Well, exactly. Well, that's what I mean. So they don't actually.
So they don't play it.
That's their pseudo switch out. How many Rapid Strikes did you play against?
I played against 3.
How many did you beat?
3.
Woo!
Woo! I will say Koko only helped actually once. In those matchups. The MVP for that was Squawk.
Yeah. Just seeing enough cards to do what you need to do.
No, it tanked the hit and it motivated. It was a very useful card in that matchup.
Yeah, because there's no actually there is no Pokemon in the Rapid Strike deck that can knock out a Squawk.
No. And they wouldn't bench Inteleon. But just going back to the game here then, so he's basically just hits me with Iron Hands and puts a Bravery Charm and does nothing else. So the maths here is a little bit concerning because the Miraidon's now in range of an Amp.
Yes. And he's
even
already
through the
taken
bravery
a single
charm.
prize, so this is a problem.
Yeah, so hence why the switch cart is a priority to get here, because he needs to then Ross vacuum to
He
Ross
just needs
vacuum the
more
bravery
stuff,
charm.
doesn't he? He now needs boss lost vacuum.
Yeah, and yeah, hence why I retreat and switch to the Raikou, even
Yeah.
though I'm doing less damage.
Well, he's got the lost vacuum,
Yes.
but we don't see the boss.
No. Again, so it's if you had it, to be honest, even if you did have it, he would get then knocked out, and then he would have a single Mew out, and I could Iono him.
There's nothing really in play. So I notice here he's playing. Oh, you actually play Switch, don't you?
I play a single switch, yes.
How many Switch cart?
1.
You play one Switch cart, and 2 rope.
Yes, that's correct.
Wow. Okay.
The switch cart, it's up for debate really if you want a second switch over the switch cart. But I like the switch cart because I figured Lost Box was still around, and it does help in the Charizard matchup as well, where you can get hit after you take 1 prize, you take 210 on like a Raikou with a Bravery Charm. You can then heal it off to not get Lost Vacuumed and knocked out.
Yeah.
So there's little instances where it helps.
Yeah. No. Like I just play 2 Switch cart, 2 escape rope.
Yeah, so I mean, going to 1 switch was purely based on how much block lax was being played and the amount of times counter catcher Flaffy happened.
Okay. Yeah. I got you. Yeah. So he's prioritized the bravery charm, and then it's judge.
Yeah, I think that's his only supporter, so I think he had to judge here.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot going on in hand. I think he had 4 energy in the hand, and there's not a lot going on in his hand still. There's now no energy.
Yeah.
I mean Raikou, but there's no. Yeah, it's looking bleak. Even though it's only 5-5, it's still fairly bleak.
Yeah, again, this is the power of the turn 1 path. It's my board is set up and his isn't.
Yeah, but now he's got Mew EX draw.
Yes.
And it's 2 Pokemon.
yeah, this was. Yeah, I think you had to go for it, really.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
no,
the problem.
100%.
Yeah. The problem is now he's given me control now in terms of when I can play path down, because I think he's now lost vacuums. He's now played his only beach court.
Yeah.
So I can just play path when I want to.
Yeah, and you can fleet foot.
Yeah, I can fleet foot. I can tandem unit. I can do whatever really.
Yeah. So he's got 4 in play. You've got 4, so you can just tandem unit for a 5th. You've got potentially then boss for 200 I'm
So I'm fortunate that he judges me into the boss, because I know that hand needs to go, because it's just a 3 prizes waiting to happen as long as it's on the field. So it just has to go.
There's a Tapu Koko.
There is a Tapu Koko. He then goes in the bin immediately.
Yeah.
He's not really that useful in this matchup because we both play a decent amount of switch cards.
Yeah.
So the chances of him getting out of it is fairly high, and then I've just left a 2 prize in the active with 210 HP, which is just going to get knocked out. So
what's Tapu Koko's second attack?
It's through energy, 180 discard energy attached to it.
Okay.
It's useful for the Mew VMAX because when you as long as you've got a Zapdos in play for one of the 2 attacks, you'll knock out, because you'll do 120 or 130 plus 180, which is just enough to hit the 310 threshold. So.
And a little bit of deliberation there between the Zeraora and the Raichu.
Yeah, the deliberation was really do I want to set up a Raichu and try and blow up something, or am I just going to get the pivot and then I can then respond better to what he does next? Because at this point he's already used one of his bravery charms. He's got a Raikou and a Raichu. I mean, he's not doing a whole lot with his board. You mewed and did nothing, so.
Yeah, Mew into nothing is not the best.
Yeah, and I could still, even if he did respond with something, I could still tandem unit for the Raichu, Flaffy to it, and then I've got 5 energy in play at that point, so it wasn't necessary to get this turn.
So we're seeing Miraidon hitting the field here. Potential Iono to 3 for you, 5 for Simon. But he's probably going to restart first.
Tandem
Tandem engine, as you like to call it.
Tandem Train.
Oh, the tandem train. Oh wow, he plays 2 Iron Hands.
Yes,
Interesting that he
that's
values, because you were just saying you don't value Iron Hands in this deck. Oh, I suppose he wants that 3 prizer, doesn't he?
yeah. He wants, but I'm looking at it. I'm not really threatened by it because his board is not set up in a way that I can support Iron Hands.
Yeah, there's no flaffies.
No, you have to find Flaffy, DT, Generator, Boss.
Yeah, and it's just
It's
Ionoed,
a
so
lot.
he's at least got another turn.
Yeah.
L-
And the problem is now he's now benched 5. So my
yes.
Raikou, if he doesn't deal with this Raikou, it's gonna get a knockout.
Yeah, and
And even if he,
looking at his hand, well, he needs to get double generator here, doesn't he?
yeah,
And
and
it's nothing.
I think this is a game where he researched at the start and binned all his Flaffies, and he doesn't run Super Rod.
Oh, so that's almost so there was a misplay / calculation there to actually drop the Mareep with 2 flaffies in the discard pile.
I think he wanted to do it as just a sacrifice.
Okay, yeah. 1
But at
energy
that
there off
point, if I'm already on prices anyway, it doesn't really matter. I'm still taking 2 knockouts anyway.
Yes, yes.
So he's just kind of sat there doing nothing.
He's just
I
powering
thought
up
he
your
played the
Raikou.
Super Rod. Yeah, I thought he played Super Rod, hence why he benched the Mareep. But I later learned he doesn't. So it was just stuck there.
Okay, so at this point, you actually thought that there could be a Super Rod play.
Yeah, I didn't know his list entirely, so I was unaware that he didn't play Super Rod.
Yep. Now this is actually quite a good play to put the Bravery Charm on that Raikou, because that's an ability to soak up a hit. Sort of needing a boss or rope.
Yeah, I did top at the boss here, which was very convenient.
Interesting, well, that the stream decided to show Big Charm.
Yeah, it's close. You know, one of the words is right there.
Yeah, well.
Not even the right format.
Plus 30, plus 50. It's close enough. Is that what was that? You searched for generator. Did you get it?
No, I drew generator off his Iono or something. What did he play?
Did you whiff that?
Yeah, I whiffed it. I mean, at that point, I wasn't too. As soon as I saw the boss, I wasn't fussed.
And let's roll again. But you've got boss in hand.
Yeah, so I've got boss in hand, so I know I'm just going to boss up the Miraidon, and then I think he's burned all of his generators now, maybe bar one, but
yeah.
So the Iron Hand is never coming up.
Yeah.
He's never planning for Raichu to knock out a Bravery Charm thing. So
yeah,
he's pretty stuck here, really.
Yeah. And you're just gonna. Oh no! He was getting ready to put some damage counters on that Raikou.
Yeah, no, I was like, no.
And you're like, no.
This the only threat on the board, and he scoops because that's all his energy gone. Like, he has no
you're down to
follow-up
1
attack.
prize. I mean, that's
Yeah. Oh yeah, he hadn't taken a prize last turn, had he? So yeah, he was Yeah. So now I know going to this, I'm in trouble because now he's going to go first.
Yeah. That's the pressure of the coin flip. So talk to me about your decision to wear a plain black T-shirt.
That wasn't my decision.
Okay.
That was because I was wearing a branded T-shirt at the time, and I wasn't allowed to go on stream with it. It was like I can't remember what it was now. I didn't know if it was branded or not. It had like a picture, it had like words on it, and I was like, I'm not gonna take the risk. I'll just put the black T-shirt on.
Oh, so did they give you a plain black T-shirt?
Yeah, you just go behind stage and there's just a box full of T-shirts.
Oh,
and you
so
just they
didn't give you the Play Pokemon T-shirt. That's a bit sad.
Yeah, I don't know what was up with that. I did end up just walking off with the shirt, so I got a free black shirt out of it.
Oh, nice.
For what it's worth.
Will you be wearing the black shirt to Liverpool?
No, absolutely not.
And just while we're here as well, black deck sleeves. What brand of deck sleeve do you use?
That is the Dragon Shield Dual Mat.
Okay, the Dragon Shields. Okay.
They're very reliable. Funny story, actually. I tried to play them. I went into day one using the Christmas Dragon Shield sleeves, not realizing that you can't actually play those sleeves because they only allow card artwork, that Pokemon official card artwork on them.
Was it, so what? I haven't actually seen these Christmas sleeves. I'm gonna have to Google them.
Oh, so it's like Santa's with a sleigh of, but instead of reindeers, just like dragons, like going down a chimney.
Okay, yeah.
And I had a Christmas shirt on day one, so I went with the theme. Like, but then I was told after my round two opponent game to re-sleeve.
Oh,
which I did.
so you actually got to play a couple of games
Yeah,
with the Christmas sleeves,
yeah.
and then
Before the,
and no one tried to DQ you for it.
no, I don't think anybody knew about that. Well, I don't know. My round one opponent didn't know,
Oh,
and my
'cause
round two opponent didn't say anything either. So
I mean, I definitely knew that you had to play. Oh, I can see him. He's like on a chimney.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean they. Oh, it does have a border.
yeah, it does have a border.
Yeah, so for a
I
while
knew
the
about the
rules
border
were a
rule.
border,
Yeah,
yeah. But yeah, so now if anyone doesn't know, you're actually not allowed to play any picture sleeves unless they are Pokemon, official Pokemon as well.
yes.
Which I think is a little bit strict, but hey ho.
I think it's just to avoid like the questionable anime sleeves and stuff that people
Oh
play
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like who would own questionable anime sleeves, Phil?
I know. It's just such a who would do that, Phil? Yeah, so
Oh, there's only gonna be a select number of people that listen to this that will know what we're talking about. But it's
yeah,
fine. Only a select number of people listen to this anyway. Now we're seeing. Obviously, you're going second. Turn one, squawking, probably digging for the path to the peak.
yes, absolutely. He does only run two, so his chances of finding it are slimmer. But he also does run two Sealstone in his list.
Oh, two Sealstone. So there's
Hmm.
4 outs.
Yeah,
Was that
4 outs
attempted
to it.
ripple shuffle there? What's going on in your hand? You've got you've got Nest Ball, which is
So
nice.
my hand is insane if I don't get pathed. I think I have
We
like
think we've been here
I
before.
have a Maridon out. I have Generator. I have like Research or something in hand. Like it was a really good hand if I didn't get pathed.
Yeah.
Spoilers. I get
I was
pathed.
gonna say I actually don't remember if you get passed.
Oh yeah, every one of these games starts out the exact same way, where you both Sealstone for path and just play path.
Yeah.
In fact, we both started Raikou this game again as well. So
Yeah, I think the board is almost. Oh, he's got double Maridon, whereas the other game
yeah,
did not.
and again he hits the double energy, which made me feel sad.
Yeah, you look happy about it in the top corner.
Yeah. So noticeable here is that he does bin the Lost Vacuum,
Yes, I was
which
actually
is a
about to
big
mention
deal.
that. That is big. And there's the out to path in hand.
Yeah, and there is the essential path in hand. Yes.
I can see. Yeah, you can see you sort of dropping your head there, like yeah.
We both know what's about to come, so
So Simon goes on to play second.
yes.
Is there like I know it's like oh what could have been, but if if you come out of a win on this game, or actually because you spoiler alert you tie,
Mm.
um you're actually not far off of being that second place or potentially first place, really.
Yeah, so if I had won my last game, I would have been in the bubble for top 8. I think there was 1-11-3-1 that did make it in,
Right.
so it was a possibility.
So what? Because I don't know if you talked much on our Discord about your games after this one. Like, because you was it 2 losses?
Yeah, so my day 2 did not start off well. I ended up losing the first 2 games.
Yeah.
I lost to Ethan's DT Mew in a very, very close game,
Yeah.
game 3. And then I lost to, I think it was Charizard.
Oh.
It was a very bad misplace for me in my game 3 that
Okay.
just threw the game. So,
Mm.
but going back to this game, as you can see, the hand looks amazing if it wasn't for Path. Unfortunately, it is Path, and I now have to cobble together something because I have no draw, I believe. It's just a bunch of ball search and energies.
Yeah. 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 It's amazing how good Path to the Peak is right now.
Yeah.
It's such a good card, and for the record as well, because some people don't like Path to the Peak in the format. I would hate this format without Path to the Peak. It's
I
just
agree.
such a balancing card. Like it's insane.
I think formats need cards like this to lock these big basic rule box Pokemon with really strong abilities just from dominating.
Yeah.
It gives like options for single prize decks to come back and to have a chance. I mean, obviously,
There's
it's
not a
getting abused.
single prize deck that plays Path to the Peak right now.
No, so it's yeah, it's certainly being used.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't. Are you aware of the card Power Plant?
Yes, that was the electric, the
Power
basic one,
Plant,
was it?
yeah, Power Plant. I think was just like it shuts off abilities for GXs. It was something like that.
Yes,
So,
yeah.
and of course, you. Well, I say of course. Do you remember Cessation Crystal?
Oh yeah, love
Yeah.
that
Oh
card.
yeah. Oh
Love
yeah.
that card.
Yeah. So that I mean, having like that's probably my favorite tool card ever printed.
Mm.
Cessation Crystal, but yeah, I agree. Having these abilities to lock off. Yeah. So Power Plant, Pokemon GX and EX in play have no abilities.
Yeah.
So,
So just looking at this hand now, this hand is abysmal. And I have the option of ultra. I hesitate here because I'm like, oh, I've now locked myself into a situation where I'm gonna have a 0-card hand.
what is your hand? Your energy and
Boss.
trainer. Oh, boss. Right. Have you played a support this turn?
No, but the support wouldn't do anything. Boss wouldn't achieve anything because it's still a one prize retreater in play. So my thought play here is if I get escape roped and I don't have another bench Pokemon and this one gets knocked out or even damaged, I'm in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Because this is my only threat and my only play going forward. So I need to bench something. I bench as Aura in the event that he doesn't escape rope and just simply knocks out the active, then at least I've got a pivot to maneuver around next turn on a 0-card hand.
Yeah, and that's the attached return.
Yeah. So I know this Mardon is safe because he's been the vacuum.
Yeah.
Unless because he's not even got a Marie. Yeah, he's got Flaffiest, but
yeah.
Otherwise, he could get
He'd
Boss
have
5 energy Raichu under Path, which would be
there'd have to
an
be
insane board.
Yeah, pretty nuts turn would
So at this point, I've just accepted the fact that this Raikou is going down. I'm giving up 2 prizes almost certainly here.
Yeah.
But I do have a response in the form of that Miraidon.
Yeah.
Which, if he doesn't find the charm, means I can get 2 prizes, and that could maybe put me back in the game.
Yeah. It looks like he's eyeing up maybe getting rid of the path lock. Oh, he does.
Yeah, this was a very questionable play at the time, and I still don't understand it because looking at his board, I understand why he does it in order to be able to get the attack off, but now he just unlocks my Miraidon at this stage. Like, I can now fill my bench, and I've already got a threat on board. So I thin the deck, less Pokemon, more chance of drawing a draw supporter or something good.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have just simply attached to the Miraidon and passed, and then next turn retreat and punch, because I'd still be in a 0-card hand and still not have anything to follow up, but he might be able to find a Bravery Charm the following turn.
Yeah.
So I think this is perhaps too aggressive of a play.
Yeah, and he's just seen you dump a boss as well.
I mean, I have 0 cards in hand.
Yeah.
There is no plays coming out of me at the moment, so...
Did you ever consider in that Ultra Ball keeping hold of the boss and maybe trying to top deck an energy?
I did think about holding the boss just to boss up a Flaffy and try and stall, but at the same time, if he doesn't play Flaffy, it's kind of useless. He might expect that play, or he might, or he might just attach energy to it or something.
Yeah.
And like I said, I want to avoid being escape roped and getting the Miraidon damaged.
Yeah.
I needed to stay healthy in order to even have a chance of coming in this game. So fortunately, he does not find the Bravery Charm, which is huge here. And then I top deck. Rather insanely, I think, here.
You top deck what, sorry?
I top deck, well, you'll see in a minute, but I top deck an Iono.
Ah, perfect.
Which was an insane top deck to get.
It's all part of the plan.
And the casters went wild off of this. Because now that, also, I've now got Miraidon active as well. So I can thin deck and Iono.
Yeah.
From a 0-card hand, suddenly I've just opened up a whole load of plays. And I'm putting him to a 4-card hand, and I'm about to knock out his only board threat.
Yeah.
And he has no follow-up at the moment. He has no Flaffy. He's no pivot. Like, the board state suddenly changes drastically in this one turn. It was insane.
Yeah. Did you when you topped up the Iono, was there ever a point where you just like was gonna slap it straight down, or did you know, right, I need to actually
No,
tandem
no, I
first?
almost did. And I thought, no, tandem
Yeah,
unit
yeah, yeah.
first. Don't get ahead of yourself here.
Yeah.
No, I did have quite a surprised look on my face when I topped at the Iono.
Well,
It was probably the best top deck to have there.
you can be surprised, but ultimately, if you build enough live cards into your deck, you should almost expect to see one.
Yeah, and then even more on top of this turn is I play Path, so now he can't find more Meeps. He can't use Mew.
Yep.
It's a really brutal turn, and now I've got a Mydon with Bravery Charm that just can't get knocked out this turn because, as we said before, he's got rid of the vacuum.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we've only got 1.5 minutes left of the game.
Yes. This is the unfortunate thing, is I think if this game had gone longer, I think I would have won this.
Yeah. Do you feel like the pace of play overall was right, or do you think maybe it was a little bit slow at times?
I think perhaps the game one, I think like I said before, probably could have scooped a bit earlier. That may have made the difference.
Yeah, that's true.
But I will say going to this series, I was fully expecting to lose this because I know he has. My deck is just not great in the mirror, especially his version where he's got 2 path outs.
Yeah.
And 2 seal stones really. So if I could win, I was expecting first game whoever goes first wins. Second game whoever goes first wins, and then the third game, as soon as he went first on the first game, I was like, okay, well, I basically, unless game 3 goes phenomenally well, I might have to go for a tie here.
Yeah.
Because that's just how. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, going second in his mirror, it's just advantage lost, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going second it's almost a game loss, really. I mean, well, this game says no actually to that, but this was insane luck.
Yeah. I mean, anyone that's played Miraidon on the ladder and come up into the mirror is going to know that if they lose a coin flip, they've got problems.
Oh yeah, I mean this whole series we joked about gambling. Really, we every time we play a generator, we're just like, it's gambling time. Gotta love gambling.
You got to be careful, mate, because I believe gambling is actually not allowed as part of the official Pokemon rulebook.
Ah, well, I don't know why they printed generator then. It's effectively is gambling.
Yeah. Well, same with Pokestop. There's a reason we say spin the wheel.
I mean, the judges didn't stop us, so that's it. They should have done a what, but
I think it's fortunate that, well, in that respect, we don't, as the viewers, we don't hear your microphone.
No, probably not. That's probably the best.
Yeah. Do you think any players have ever just been caught out just sort of swearing and stuff?
Maybe. I mean, I could very easily do that.
Yeah.
So I was a bit scared.
Is this your turn 1?
Yeah, so Simon was turn 0. That was when time was called. So I've now got to take 4 prizes in 2 turns.
Which, do you know what? And I'm going to say it because I think the casters here sort of were like, oh, I don't think he can do it. I don't think it's doable without the vacuum on the Bravery Charm. But actually, you've got double Mareep. You could potentially. I don't know if you got. I think if you got Flaffy prized, was that the last game?
I don't think Flaffy's a prize this game.
Right. So you've got potentially double Flaffy. You've got Iron Hands EX, which you play down.
Yep.
You've got a 3 prizer on the Squawk and a single prizer on the Flaffy.
Yes.
Which, like, for me straight away that was obvious, but the casters missed it because you can amp the Squawk for double damage and weakness, and it's easy 3 prizes.
Yeah, I had several outs here. The first one that came to mind was Raichu.
Yes.
I just need, I've already got 4 energy in play. I just need to hit 1 energy off a generator or find a Flaffy. 5 energy knocks out the Miraidon.
Yep.
And then, like I said, next turn I can either boss up. I could boss up the Squawk.
Yes.
For 2 prizes and win the game like that. So it was very doable. Unfortunately, the Raichu was priced.
Okay. So the
now
the only option
play
really
became
is to escape rope for a single prize, and then or escape rope amp the Flaffy.
Yeah, because escape rope would have been great because, like I said, you either escape rope, knock out the Flaffy, and then I Iron Hands the Squawk, or he sends up the Raikou, I knock out with Miraidon. So I had options. Like I said, this game, it had gone to time, I would have probably won this game. It also doesn't help that all these generators whiffed.
Oh,
Well, I got one. There's one. The first one whiffed. So then I was, yeah. So at this point,
there's no rope in hand. So actually, at this point, it's done.
at this point, the game was over. So we decided, because we're having fun on stream, we decided to just play it out anyway, just for stream more than anything, just have a bit of fun.
Just for the vibe.
How often do you get to do this, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So I do this play knowing that it has no impact whatsoever, and just punch with the Zoe Aura for a laugh, really.
60 damage.
And then Simon's a good sport, and he because this is now his last turn, he knows he can't win, so he just goes for the fun play, which I respect.
Yeah, and he goes for the biggest Raichu attack.
Exactly.
Yeah. I see you're smiling, you're nodding, he's smiling.
Yeah. We both know what's about to happen now.
And generate for 2.
Yeah, again. So I think overall this game, I was happy to come out with a tie, because I was fully expecting to just lose it. Because like I said, the last time I played him, I lost 2-0.
Yeah.
So I was fully expecting to just lose this game.
So
the fact that I came back from this having gone second, it was insane and extremely unlikely.
What happened in your first set? What went wrong?
I think game 1 he went first, pathed me.
Yep.
And I lost off of that.
Yep.
And then game 2, I think I just bricked.
Yeah.
I went first, but bricked, and it was just a rubbish game, really.
Fine.
Yeah. Then he just goes all out on the Raichu. Yeah. I really enjoyed the set, though. It's a really fun series.
Yep. And you've already watched it back. Any particularly big sort of changes that you're gonna make to your play style? And a nice clap there for his big hit.
Yeah. Looking back at it, I think I played this pretty well, I'd say.
Yeah.
There was the random attachment on the Raikou or the Seal Stone for no justifiable reason, really.
Right. It didn't really impact the game, though, right?
It didn't impact the game, no. But no, I think I calculated sort of the best plays in the worst situation. I think I adapted quite well to the bad situation I was put in.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much I would do to change, really.
Well, you gotta respect the resolve there. Particularly, what I particularly like is when I ask you if you're going to start checking for researches, and you're just like, no.
No, it's too much to deck. There's things you should deck check, like you always deck check the Pokemon line, like the Flaffy and Mareep is so important. The Seal Stone, maybe you check for like DT hands if you want to go for that.
Yeah.
But like trying to count the support line and stuff is just it's too much time wasted on something that's probably not going to have an impact, really. Yes, I could find out that there's 2 research prize, but I don't know when I'm going to pull them.
No.
So
no, they could have been your last 2 prizes.
Exactly.
You know, if you'd committed to that knockout and got double energy, you're going to be not super happy.
Oh, that game would have been over.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, this has been really fun, mate.
Yeah, this is really good. I enjoyed this.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. Thank you for doing it. I sort of floated it to you yesterday or whenever, and you were like, yeah, let's do it, and then you just sort of threw it on me to do it right now, which is fine, which is great. So we've got something. It's good fun. This is good. We should definitely do this again.
Absolutely, this is good. I did this.
Right. Well, this has been Alex Northey, top place. Oh, you won some money.
I did.
So does that mean it's going to be drinks on you for our Christmas social?
No. We'll put a pin in that. I might need that. Well, I'm now thinking of doing New Orleans.
Oh, really?
They're doing a bit of a family trip with the money.
Okay.
Which I think would be quite nice. So might have to save it for that, unfortunately. Maybe the drinks will next time.
I respect that, mate. How did your parents react to you winning money in Pokemon?
They're very supportive.
Yeah.
They don't really understand what's going on, but they're very supportive nonetheless. So
Yeah, because
all I
like
can ask for.
obviously when you won nationals, there was pretty much no money.
No, but the money came in the form of a paid trip to Hawaii and
Yeah,
hotel.
yeah, yeah. But actual like there's no cash in pocket at that time.
No, no, I don't. I think there might have been scholarships for masters at that time. I think, but other than that, yeah, there wasn't much in
Yeah,
terms of.
yeah. Hey, what a time to be alive, eh?
Mm.
Making money playing Pokemon. Well, I say making money. We've probably spent
Yeah, no,
more
I
than.
don't think it covers the cost of all the traveling and stuff. But
Shh, shh! Don't mention that bit. Don't mention that bit. Nice one, man. Hey, thank you for doing this. I definitely look forward to doing it again.
yeah, I'd love to do it again.
Lovely. Cheers. Thank you very much for
Cheers.
watching as well. If you're watching at home, comment, subscribe. Oh, Alex, you're on Twitter, aren't you? Do you actually use it?
I've only just started getting it. I am on Twitter. Yes.
What's your name on Twitter? I can't remember. At the
It might
Ginger.
be the Ginger 95. Might need to think about changing that name.
I'm just gonna search Ginger. Let's have a look. Ginger Snail 95. There you go.
Yeah, that's the one.
So Alex Northey is at Ginger Snail 95. Hey, you've already got a few followers. I can see some familiar faces there. Some familiar names. Oh, there's Phil.
Yeah.
Phil follows you. Brilliant. Nice one, man.
Mm.
And yeah, so follow Alex on Twitter. He might use it.
Maybe.
You might do. You might not. Yeah, and I will see you again for the next video. Thank you very much. Bye bye.